Okay, so we're going to look at unit rate, something that I think we've been having a little bit of trouble with in class. Unit rate, we're going to define it using very non-mathematical terms, is just how much it goes up by each time. And it has to be the same amount. If the numbers skip around, it's not a unit rate. So let's look at this chart. This one's going to be pretty easy. We have x and y. Our first two we don't know. And knowing x and y, knowing that these are x and y will be really important when we start graphing. But let's look at these and see if we can figure out a pattern. Here, we go from 2 to 4. It went up by 2. We can make a pretty good assumption then that this next one is going to be 6. 2, 4, 6, 8. There's a pattern. Let's look over here. 3, 6. We can be pretty sure that this one is going to go up by 9. 3, 6, 9, 12. If we know that this is the pattern, then we can guess that our very first x would be 0, and our very first y would be 0. So our unit rate here, how much it's going up by each time, is 2 to 3. Now I said in class that for it to be a unit rate, we have to be comparing some number to the number 1. And we want our x value, because this is x, to y, we want our x to be 1. So with multiplication or division, how do we get this down to a 1? We're going to divide it by 2. If I divide this by 2, I have to divide this by 2, because my ratio is kind of like a divider, just like we've been doing with equations. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5, or 1 1/2. So our true unit rate for x and y is 1 to 1 1/2. So I could fill in between here. In between 0 and 2, there would be a 1. In between 0 and 3, there would be a 1 1/2. In between 2 and 4, there would be a 3. In between 3 and 6, there would be a 4 1/2, and so on. So this 2 to 3 is really just a double of 1, 5. Because if I want to get this to 2 to 3, I would just multiply by 2, and that would give me 2 to 3. My unit rate has to be 1 and then something. 1, 1 1/2. This chart, we're just skipping numbers, but we could go back and fill each of them in.